Hello and welcome to the channel. And for today's video, we are going to take a closer look at the 40th anniversary San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack of He-Man and Skeletor. For this video, we're just going to look at the He-Man first, since I've got more figures to compare with him than I do of the Skeletors, to do two different videos. First, let's start off here by looking at the He-Man in closer detail, just to get an idea of what he is all about. Let's try and get this to focus. There you go. So you can see the expression on him. The face sculpt is definitely inspired by the original figure, which we will do some comparisons in just a bit. He's got all of the cues from the original, right? The harness, the red cross, the bracers are definitely inspired from the original. The only thing, keeping with a more modern look is this loincloth compared to the original, which was more like furry underwear, and this is just like the loincloth, and then the boots, right? So again, some of the things that they changed up specifically for this version of for the celebrating the 40th anniversary is the upper body. They did change that from the more current body buck that they are using, and we'll compare him with those as well. So first I want to bring in the compare him with the original He-Man and the current Origins style He-Man. So I got here my original He-Man from 1980, let's see, 1982. Oop, 1982. So you can see once I remove the harness, you can see you'll see how much they were inspired by the musculature of the original. But here you can see I need to change the rubber band on this guy. Oh, he does have the larger arm from Fisto. That's why it looks a little weird. But anyway, let's just compare mainly first the head sculpts. So you can see how close, but also how different they are. On focus. There you go. You can see the original has a slightly more rounder chin and jawline compared to this version. That's definitely more squared off, especially the chin. It's more squared off. I kind of prefer this, but again, they're trying to do their own thing with the modern lines and everything. If you want to try a more vintage look, you can try swapping heads, which we're gonna do with the Origins line figures. Also, the expression on his face is a little different. Even though he's got the gritting teeth look, the eyebrows are furrowed differently. The eyes are shaped differently. Even the nose looks to be shaped differently. This guy's got a wider nose. This is a little more narrow. Right. So the hair is definitely the same. I mean, same. He's got the same wavy look going from this side to this side, right? I don't know why I'm pulling this side. But yeah, you can see how inspired by the original this guy is. Even the musculature, which I think is what most people are happy with, and we're gonna see when we compare him with the more modern line, you're gonna see the big difference. So you can see the more bubbly muscles on this guy, which are definitely inspired by this guy. The only thing he doesn't have is the outline for the this guy didn't. I thought this guy had nipples, but I guess they didn't. I guess they kept it 100%, right, like the original. I mean, it's not a one-to-one exact representation of this guy, but it's pretty close. The one thing that I wish they would have done on this guy is given him his neck, the neck style on this, as far as a wider neck, because you can see this is a little more narrow. His neckline goes all the way up from the one side of the jaw to the other, whereas this is pretty much doesn't quite reach from one end of the jaw to the other. I had spoken in a previous video where I thought, where using one of the Origins figures, that I would do some surgery in removing this part of the portion of the figure, just to insert a wider neck on the Revelations He-Man buck. I may wait to get the retail version of the 40th and try and do that on those. So we'll see how that goes. And then let's bring in the Origins. So this is the Origins figure. Again, comparing the harnesses, which again, the Origins is based off the original. So you can see how close they are, except for the color. This is definitely a silverish. This is just a flat gray. This has chrome. Well, not chrome. Like I said, it's just a silver color. But it definitely, the shape of the red cross, iron cross, is the same. This guy only has those red squares on the harness, on the straps, only 3 on each side, whereas this goes all the way to the back. All right. And again, comparing the head sculpt, just for a quick comparison, here's the old head sculpt with the new head sculpt. Right. So this one is still a little different than this one, but let's compare this head sculpt with this guy. And you can see if we try and do a swap, let's see how that looks. A little loose. Doesn't look too bad, but you can definitely tell that it definitely needs a wider neck just to complete the whole look, in my opinion. Even with even with this current head, you definitely feel like I need either the back muscles need to be higher and the neck needs to be wider. And again, for comparison, this is the I'm gonna bring in the modern interpretation of the Origins line with the new head that they gave us first on the first release. And let's see how that looks on this guy. And actually that does not look too bad, in my opinion. Um, uh, I think a lot of people didn't like that head sculpt just for the hair. I think if they would have just given him the original style hair. I think that because the facial expression is definitely uh, there. It's a modern reinterpretation. So actually, now that I'm thinking, I may try and do a hair swap from the original with this head, one of these, and try and swap the hair onto one of those head sculpts and see how that looks. Because yeah, the face and everything is not bad actually. So there's that. Let's just keep it like this for just a little bit while we look at the weapons. So as most of you know already, the 40th anniversary came with die-cast weapons. So you got the die-cast sword, the die-cast axe, and the die-cast shield. Here's a closer look at the sword. Let's compare the sword to the vintage style sword, which is from the Origins line, but again, it's the exact same as the vintage. And you can see the similarities in design, but also how different it is at the same time. Alright, so they're definitely the 40th anniversary sword is inspired definitely heavily by this version, but also takes cues from the animation power sword. And then the axes. This is the 40th axe and the vintage axe, or given to the Origins line. I believe this is a new sculpt. If I recall correctly, the vintage axe is definitely closer to this version. Okay. And the shield. The shield, this is the from the Origins line, but inspired by the original. And this is the 40th, right? So you can see again the similarities, but also the differences. Okay. Let's try and compare with the current iterations of the what that they have in the Masterverse line. Give me just 1 second to pull up the figures. Okay, so we're gonna start off the comparison first with this is a little bit customized, but this is the Savage He-Man body that has been a little bit modded by myself. So what I did on this Savage He-Man, for those who didn't see that video, I swapped out the loincloth, the loincloth and the belt. I gave him the bracers and the harness, right? And I also gave him the spare head from the Faker, the one that had the glowing red eyes. I just repainted them blue, and also swapped and gave him the furry boots instead of bare feet. But you can see how this, version of He-Man compares to the 40th. And when I compare him with the other buck, which you'll see the big difference in style. But I think most people were happy with the Savage He-Man. buck, because it fixed an issue from the standard Revelations body that had a narrower chest, upper body. The Savage He-Man has definitely a wider chest and back, similar to this. You can see. All right, so give me just 1 second, and I'll bring in one of the other in the Masterverse line. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring in the Viking He-Man that was just released a short time ago. And you can see what I was referencing in regards to the body type. Everything on the 40th is the same. At first I thought they had given him larger shoulders, but they're actually the same as far as this parts, the shoulders. But no, the only thing that they changed up was the upper body. The legs are the same, the arms are the same, the hands are the same. It's just the upper body that they gave him a different look. But you can see what I mean as far as the shape goes. This isn't bad, the modern buck. The problem is it's just too narrow. If you can, I'm gonna remove the harness, so give me a second here. You can't actually remove the harness completely. I can't slide it off. I would have to take it from underneath, so I'm just gonna force it down just a bit out of sight, just so you can see the upper, torso. Right now you can see the big difference, right? Let me just remove this guy. I'll compare him with him in just a second. You can see the big difference in the upper body right there. So this is what a lot of people were not too happy with, that this is a little more squarish, right? And definitely we prefer the V shape of the upper torso, because I don't know, maybe if they had I don't know, definitely just giving him wider pecs would have fixed some of the issues with this. But if they decide to go forward with a body buck, I hope they use the one from the Savage He-Man. Let me just remove his harness for comparison. You're gonna see some paint rub on him from the harness, so excuse the sloppiness. But you can see right there how they compare. So how this buck looks much better than this one. Aside from the coloring on this guy, which the camera is doing him a lot of favors actually. The skin tone on him on camera looks better than it actually is. It's still a little more yellowish. This is definitely more orange, and this is like in between. So it's actually graded pretty, from this. This is definitely the middle of this. So, but yeah, you can see that the upper body. Just compare the upper body from these two guys, and you can tell how much the Savage He-Man body is 1,000 times better than this, just by this alone. The only issue that I have with the Savage He-Man is the neck is bent forward too much, because the original, the Savage He-Man definitely looked more colkish, so he's always leaning forward. This is the actual neutral, this is the neutral position, right? I actually try and keep him bent backwards as much as I can, to try and keep the head a little more straight on. But yeah, if they release future figures using this upper body but remolded the neck to be a little more straighter, a little more up, this would be pretty much the best option for going forward, in my opinion, for using the Revelation style body. But yeah, just compare this and then compare this with this. So yeah, I think Mattel did the right decision. If they move forward with using this body for everything, that would be even better, I think. But again, if they're gonna stick with this mold, just change the upper body to this upper body, just fix the neck, and that's it. And now comparing the modern weapons to the ones in the 40th. So again, this is the chest harness from the Revelation style line compared to the 40th. So the modern line, the modern version is using the H symbol, right, as opposed to the red cross. This again repainted by me. And then the weapons. So this is the sword from this guy. Let me just take him out of the way. This is the sword from the Viking He-Man compared to the 40th, and you can see this is the exact same sword, except this one is got a wrap on the handle. This one has just a silver handle, or a flat handle, compared to the old school style, right? But it's the exact same sword. So when the retail version of the 40th releases, expect something like this, right? You can see this one's got some like sparkles in it, some glitter. Okay, and then the axe. The axe is also the one that came with the Viking He-Man. So this is the one that they used. You can see how the die-cast didn't translate the worn parts on the axe completely. It almost looks like these are just dents, right? Instead of the sharper cuts here on the plastic, right? And the shield is actually completely different. I don't have the shield up here except for with the custom that I did, and I'll show that just a little bit later. So let's do some head swaps on this guy. I'm gonna try putting the new style heads that they gave him from the Masterverse line. So let's try the Viking He-Man head. This doesn't look too bad. So it's definitely pretty good, actually. Again, a lot of people may not have been completely sold on this face sculpt. I already spoken what one issue might be. Try fixing the hair, just shifting it a little more towards this side, because you can see it's a little, the eyes is a little too close to the hair there on the side. So that's something that I'm gonna do. And then let's try the one that's on the Savage He-Man, which is from the Faker with the glowing red eyes that's been repainted. This is how that looks. You can see the head is probably a little too small. A little too small for this body style because of the larger proportions. It looks good on the for some reason it looks good on the Savage He-Man despite being almost the same width. Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty much the same width. It's just definitely the girth, right? That is also different on the 40th. So there's that. And then let's see. I don't know where I left the Viking He-Man head, the one with the horns. Let's see. If I have it here offhand, I can't see it. Oh wait, now I see it. So let's see how that looks. Again, doesn't look too bad in my opinion. Right, so that's another option you can have when the retail version of this one comes out, right? But yeah, I think that is all. Actually, I didn't compare him. I didn't compare one thing, which is the. So this is the axe from the Savage He-Man, right? Compared to the one that they're using, right? And the power sword, the modern power sword that they're using compared to the 40th. So you can see this is pretty close. They're pretty close in design, except this one's a little shorter on this part of the figure. This is a little more elongated, right? But the design cues are there. And lastly, let's bring in my custom He-Man that I made from the original Revelations body, using one of the Origins heads in the vintage style. So I may revisit this version using this buck when they release it. This is the modern shield compared to the vintage style. Okay. So there you go. A lot of people have commented and said that they like my custom, and thank you. Some even said that it's better than this. Again, thank you. I'm definitely just trying to go for the old school cartoon look. That's why he's got a darker shade, skin tone. This is definitely inspired by the figure, the original figure, right? As opposed to the animation style, which I explained does have a darker tone, skin tone. But yeah, that's pretty much it, how they compare. So again, I may just revisit this custom using this body and head later. But yeah, that's how they look. So that's pretty much it for this review slash overview slash comparison of the 40th anniversary San Diego Comic-Con exclusive 2-pack He-Man. We're gonna take a look at Skeletor next in a separate video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Which version, which He-Man do you like best? Do you like the standard Revelations body and head? Do you like the Viking He-Man? Do you like the Savage He-Man? Do you like the more Origins slash vintage style body? You know, the head sculpts and everything. Let me know what you guys think of everything. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you guys out in the next one.